not totally done yet.
30 days, well, 20 days now.
From where?
Their expected timeline is at the end of the month, so.
Okay, but that means that with all the holes are covered, all the dead meters are pulled?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, this is the gas company.
Okay.
Mickey, Sheriff, if you have any questions on?
Yes, sir.
On the curbs that we're replacing, there were already existing curbs, they're just, you need a repair?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir. There's quite a few areas along there, along Long Street that are in disrepair. And the problem is the pavement kind of goes up and down in some areas. And so it's not like just going in there and tearing out one section. Otherwise, you end up, having to come back in and replace more later. So we're going to try and go back and get those things. We'll do profiles and the curb and gutters all the way up through there. Ensure we've got good positive drainage, similar like what we did on Bird Drive here a couple of years ago. On the two sections of that, some of it was in pretty good shape, and you could go in there and do some minor repairs. Some of it just had to be stripped out and redone, so we had good positive drainage.
Is there a question of some pipes and stuff underneath that curve?
I think at the last city council meeting, Gordon had brought up something about the storm drainage. Is that what you're talking about?
There was something about some of the pipes.
Sewer pipes.
Sewer
stuff
pipes.
that up in there.
There are sewer lines and stuff in there. Hopefully the sewer lines are deep enough. We're not getting into the sanitary sewer replacement or storm drainage with this.
So which end, the south end along, or which end is it?
So there's two phases to it. There's a phase 1 and a phase 2. Phase 1 is the portion from the boulevard down to Thurston. And then there's a phase 2 which goes from Thurston all the way to Sheena. And so that's the part right now where they're replacing the water line from Thurston to Sheena on Long Avenue. So it comes in two different phases. It'll be two different projects.
And then beyond Shenna, it's just not needed?
That was outside the scope of what the city asked us to look at this time.
Is Atlas going to be in that area, or are they done with all that?
They were out there working here a couple of months ago when we were putting those plans together for the water line.
They're complete. They're done, 100%.
Everything, so this won't affect anything?
No, sir.
Martin, what do you need, just a motion for the...
I need for the council to approve the proposals.
And authorize them more.
And authorize me to sign them.
That's,
I'll make that motion then.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the civil engineering services from M.J. Thomas Engineering on Long Avenue from River Oaks Boulevard to Shenna Boulevard for paving replacement under the 2021 construction bond, and to authorize the city manager to execute that agreement. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. We'll now move to consider approval of proposal with M.J. Thomas Engineering for monthly retainage fee for drainage civil engineering services. Should have stayed up there.
Mickey Thomas, M.J. Thomas Engineering. So over the years here with River Oaks, I've been coming in and attending stormwater meetings, city council meetings, answering questions for staff, providing general civil engineering services. And, sometimes we do jobs just because we'll figure we'll get back on track with it. But in discussion with staff, with Gordon on this prior to his leaving, and then also discussion with Marvin, we have been spending quite a bit more time doing odds and ends for the city with some of the meetings and stuff that we're doing. So what I've done is proposed to Marvin is that, since we're answering questions on some of these smaller projects that come up, smaller drainage things that really don't have a project associated with it, that we come up with a way of paying for engineering services that we're doing.
Not letting us get free work.
Yes, sir. Not coming.
Just say what it is.
So, we don't mind helping out. I mean, we understand the situation with the city sometimes and some other clients and stuff like that. So we try and help out where we can in good nature and good faith and stuff like that. So, but we've got a lot of things that are moving on, a lot of moving parts and pieces. And so with the retainer, what that would do is kind of pay for going to the stormwater meetings, coming to the city council meetings, doing some review and stuff like that. It averages to about 10 hours per month, which is, kind of covers up some of the things that we're doing. So.
I'd like us, at some point, to consider going further and, do a RFQ to actually have an official city engineer and welcome, Mickey to submit on that, but, I mean, I'd like us to have a official city engineer.
We've talked about it, when it comes to drainage, there's no better than Mickey that I've ever dealt with. And that's why I haven't really moved toward a city engineer at this time, for water and sewer and whatnot. I'm not sure about the law, maybe somebody else is, about where, it's, engineering services. Can you bid it?
Yeah, you can't bid, you're not supposed to bid engineering services.
Then what did we do in wrong? We did,
RFQ.
yeah, we did an RFQ. It wasn't a bid, but it was an RFQ.
Request for qualifications.
Yeah.
And then consider which one's most qualified, make a selection.
Right.
Negotiate for a contract.
So, anyway, just a thought, but yeah, I'm good. I think this makes sense, and we appreciate the free labor, and now it's time to pay you, so.
You could continue it, too. Another thing, too, involving this, that I am interested in, is we're gonna have to get with the Texas Water Development Board, because this is a separate utility in the city. It's got its own fund and its own budget. I've already talked to the financial people about getting a bond to get some of these major drainage improvements done. I have to have an engineer with me to make that, application, and I'm assuming that could be part of this.
Yes, sir. It's just general services for the city.
You said it averages 10 hours a week or 10 hours a
10
month?
hours a month,
For miscellaneous.
miscellaneous stuff, yes, ma'am.
And it's paid out of stormwater, so.
And it is paid solely out of stormwater.
Make a motion to approve the proposed contract with M.J. Thomas Engineering for monthly retention fee for drainage civil engineering services. Does that cover the extra you were just talking about?
Yes, sir. Agreed, Mickey?
Sir?
Just talking about doing the grant thing with me
Yes, sir.
on this, yes.
I'll help you out with that, well.
And when will it start? Like the 1st of April?
Just whenever whenever y'all sign it.
Mayor don't sign it for a little while.
I'll put it on. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second to start paying Mickey Thomas with the engineering for monthly retainage fee for drainage civil engineering services. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. None opposed, motion carries. Thanks. Now, it's a bad look if you get up right now and leave, even though there's really nothing else we can talk about. No, I think you're good.
Otherwise, it's on the clock.
That's true.
Pause till he gets home.
Yeah, that's true. Item number 11 is consider approval of the agreement approving an annual lease agreement for use of McGee Park for the 2023 baseball and softball season by Lions Youth Sports Association, LYSA.
We took this to the park board, last meeting. We went through the whole agreement with, LYSA. This year, we asked about the number of teams. There's supposed to be 15 teams this year, at least in the spring season. Basically, it's a lot the same agreement, except we did not do a multi-year agreement because we're doing the master plan study right now. So we're only asking it to be done as an annual agreement. I did let the attorney look at it. There was a couple of minor changes to it, but other than that, it's ready to go as it is written in the Parks Board did recommend its approval. Only big difference is I was asked to calculate the electrical consumption, and I came up with that in the repairs we're doing to all the lighting system down there, that the ball field lights would have to go up to $25 per field per hour, which is an increase of $10. And they are aware of that, and they agreed to that, so. Other than that, I think, we met all the objectives, and they have been real good to work with us in the last year, I know for sure.